All right, Garion, which forward is a must-play?
I was looking at a couple guys in that Charlotte-Boston game, and I think they're all really viable. But if you do want to pivot off of that contest, I just think Kyle Kuzma's too cheap. He's $7,500. This is a guy who we saw be in that mid $8,000 range just a few weeks back, and he was returning value at that particular price point. And now with no Bradley Beal, I mean, Kuzma's not exactly going to fill many of the same holes that Beal does when he's out there on the court, aside from just pure usage and scoring. I mean, Kuzma becomes the number one scoring option for this Washington team, as we saw in last night's game against Milwaukee, when he had a usage rate above 31%. He took 19 shots. You never question Kuzma's ability to get on the glass. He's one of the best positional rebounders in the NBA, and I just think that this is someone who's got consecutive 50 DraftKings point games. He's averaged 1.15 DraftKings points per minute with Beal off the court so far this season. It's just another case like Osman where you've got an asset who's just undervalued. I think Kuzma should probably be somewhere between 8.5 and 9K tonight, considering what his role is going to be. So even on the second night of a back-to-back, I'm pretty confident in Kuzma at this price point.
All right, Nick W., which forward are you looking at as a must-play?
Well, you can slide in Cedi Osman at forward. He's eligible at both guard and forward tonight, so that's an option. In terms of the higher price guys, I do like that Boston-Charlotte matchup. I like Jayson Tatum. He's probably my favorite high-priced option at forward. He's at 10-6 tonight. He's been quietly playing really, really well. Got off to kind of a slow start, and it felt like that had kind of formed this permanent narrative on his season. But he's really turned things around from a fantasy perspective over the last couple months, and he's been one of the most valuable players in the league. Tobias Harris, also on a similar track. I mean, obviously not the same kind of upside that you're getting with Jayson Tatum, but he really struggled in December and early January. But he's quietly been very, very good over these last couple weeks. Played really well with Embiid out on Monday. Kevin Love at $7,000. A decent amount of variance with Kevin Love still. Some nights they'll still only play like 19 minutes off the bench, but no Lauri Markkanen for the Cavs. You do have to deal with the variance, but Love has been over 40 DraftKings points in 3 of his last 4 games. And then one cheap option that I'll throw out is Chuma Okeke at 4,500. I find myself, like, every time the Magic are on the slate, I'm sliding him into some low-cost option just because he'll have these games where, he'll go like 1 of 4 from the field, but he'll have 3 blocks, 2 steals, 4 assists. One of those guys that kind of does everything.
All right, Nick F., where are you going for a forward?
Looks like we're going to have like a Nick v. Nick night tonight or something, because I got Jaylen Brown instead of Jayson Tatum in this one, and Jaylen Brown's actually my favorite play tonight at 8.7K. The last time that I was between these two guys, I ended up leaning more towards Tatum. Brown ended up being the play that night. I hope that Nick W is not the one that's right tonight and that I am. No disrespect, Nick. But this, of course, is a pace-up spot. The Hornets are not a good defensive team, particularly against wings. Brown has been scoring 26 or more points in each of his last 4 games. And he, I know he hasn't done as much on the glass, but he typically does a lot on the glass. The last couple games has been, under 5 rebounds, but before that he was flirting with double-doubles. And regardless of that, though, the big offensive night looks like for Jaylen Brown with what he's been doing lately. And again, this is one of the highest totals on DraftKings Sportsbook tonight.